Good morning and welcome to morning prayer from All Saints Vicarage once again. We are bringing you At Home with Lent from Gordon Giles and thinking about things around our house. Today we're thinking about our bills and rendering to God all the things that are God's. Then the Pharisees went and plotted to entrap him in what he said. So they sent their disciples to him along with the Herodians, saying, "Teacher, we know that you are sincere and teach the way of God in accordance with truth and show deference to no one. For you do not regard people with partiality. Tell us then what you think. Is it lawful to pay taxes to the emperor or not?" But Jesus, aware of their malice, says, "Why are you putting me to the test, you hypocrites? Show me the coin used for the tax." And they brought him a denarius. Then he said to them, "Whose head is it, and whose title?" They said, "The emperor's." Then he said, "Give therefore to the emperor the things that are the emperor's, and to God the things that are God." When they heard this, they were amazed, and they left him and went away. When Jesus asked, "Should we pay tax to the emperor or not?" the key word is "or." It is a closed question, restricting Jesus to an either or answer. It's a trick question because to answer no would be rebellious against Rome, and to say yes would be tantamount to blasphemy. Jesus is not drawn, though, nor forced to take sides, but tells the Pharisees' disciples to render to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. The attempt to confine him in an effort to either or mentality fails, as Jesus sidesteps it and asks them the question, which they must give a closed answer. Jesus uses a technique made famous by the Greek philosopher Socrates. The Socratic method was immortalized by Plato, who, in recording the philosopher's deeds and sayings, showed us a master of the method of question and answer teaching. The famous account of Jesus catching out the Pharisees reveals how it's possible to mentally maneuver an opponent into a corner by understanding and exposing their hidden preconceptions. The Pharisees' disciples approach Jesus with the Herodians, supporters of the Roman puppet King Herod, and they are actually asking him whose side is he on. The Pharisees pretend to support Roman rule in order to cause trouble. This is why Jesus accuses them of hypocrisy. So to support Roman taxation was to support the Roman occupation of Judea, but to object was to support the insurrection. It's an awkward question, and it puts Jesus in a tight spot. Jesus' ultimate answer, "Give therefore to the emperor the things that are the emperor's, and to God the things that are God's," is both an answer to the either-or question. Jesus' interlocutors don't like blurred answer like this, but nowadays we live by such fuzziness. In a sense, Jesus gives a 21st century answer to a 1st century question. Jesus' general response to being asked an awkward question is to ask an awkward question. We might remember that Jesus does a similar thing when the woman caught in adultery is brought before him. He says, "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." They all slink away. In these situations, Jesus is saying, think differently, see it another way. Don't squeeze things into your box that isn't my box. For God's ways are not our ways. The kingdom to which Christ points us is different. Different rules and different logic apply. This way of thinking was strange to the closed-minded Pharisees. Jesus' logic is not that of the Jewish law, which basically said, do this, do that, and you will be saved. Rather, Christ's logic comes from the basic fact that God is our creator, redeemer, and sustainer, who no longer operates from the position of law, but loving mercy. In that logic, there is no need to see the emperor as an enemy to hate, or even as the opposite of a friend in Christ. Even enemies are to be loved. The paying of taxes is a side issue. Pay taxes by all means. Jesus says it's a good idea and saves a lot of hassle if one does. The same can be said for other bills, invoices and debts, but we should make sure that we also give to God the praise and the honour that is due to his name. So it may be that a tax bill or a gas bill can be a reminder that because God has paid the debts of sin through our Redeemer, we owe God a duty of praise. Like so many other things in our homes, bills have a mundane, worldly purpose or function, but they can also be a spiritual reminder of our status under God and our higher calling as a disciple of Christ. Whatever decisions, dilemmas, conundrums and confusions come our way, we need to do what is necessary in our day and age. We pay our bills, fill in forms, renew licenses, and keep the law of the land. But through it all, we must not neglect to render to God what is God's, giving God the praise and honour due his name. Money is what it is, and we have as much of it as we have. Taxes are certain as death, as Benjamin Franklin put it. So we accept the price we pay on earth. We pay our best, the dues we best we can. But the other side of the coin is sure and certain fact, the sure and certain hope that God is God, and God is God, our Maker, our debt payer, and the eternal presence in our lives. Creator Spirit, God, by your Spirit, help us to remember that you and no other are God, to promote peace and to live as those whose debts have been paid in Jesus Christ. Amen.